In part 1, we looked at Nakira Harris, a case that questioned the boundaries between faith and medical care. Part 2 takes us further into that same uneasy space because years earlier in Reading, England, another family from the Rastafarian religion faced the same scrutiny, one that would leave investigators searching for answers. This is a story that would raise deeper questions about when belief, secrecy, parental conviction, and accountability outweigh conventional belief. What happens to the most vulnerable? This is the story of baby Bubu Tibby. In September of 1984, social workers tipped off police that a baby that had been born to a local couple in Reading had not been seen, nor could the baby be located. The couple was 24-year-old Patrick Tibby and his common-law wife, 23-year-old Herma Smith of Blenheim Road, Reading. The couple, who were both Nyabingi Rastas, had already had a 3-year-old daughter that had been taken into foster care and a 6-year-old son who had been adopted. Nyabingi Rastas worship Jah, which they see as the same God in the Bible. They believe that Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia is the earthly manifestation of God or Jah and is the King of Kings. Most Rastas wear their hair in dreadlocks as a symbol of their spirituality, and they follow a very strict, natural, clean, plant-based diet known as Ital, with all meats, especially pork, which they see as unclean, being forbidden. Rastas smoke the sacred herb, cannabis, which they call ganja, or the wisdom weed, not for partying or reckless reasons. It's seen as a sacrament or a spiritual aid given by Jah. Many link it to the Bible verse, "The herb is the healing of the nations," Revelations 22 verse 2, and it's often used to open up the mind for deep spiritual reasonings. It's important to note that Rastas don't see ganja as a drug, but as nature's gift from Jah. Police became concerned for the missing baby and began an investigation. They searched the Rastafarian couple's home and dug up the garden of a nearby home, but the baby was still not found. On the 29th of September 1984, the couple were arrested and charged with failing to register the birth of a child and willful neglect of a child between November 1983 and September 1984. But the missing baby could still not be located, so the couple was remanded in custody for 1 week. But during that week, a skull and the remains of a naked baby boy was found, discovered in bushes on wasteland just 200 yards from the couple's home. The only remains that were left of the baby was pieces of skull, 3 ribs, a thigh and a leg. The couple was further remanded in custody after the find of the child. The remains were taken for autopsy, where it was determined to be baby Bubu Tibby, the Rasta couple's child. The coroner said that it was impossible to say how the baby died or whether or not the baby had suffered from diseases or nutritional deficiencies due to the state of decomposition of the body and the fact that only a few remains had been found. At some point, Herma, the deceased baby's mother, was released on bail, but due to failing to surrender to bail 5 months after being released, Herma Smith was rearrested and sent to Holloway Prison. Patrick, who had been kept on remand since he was first arrested, had been placed on remand in Reading Prison. When asked at their initial bail hearing in October 1984, the Rasta couple were asked if they wanted bail, but Herma refused to answer, and Patrick said, "I want to go home." They were both in court with no legal representation. Whilst on remand, the couple refused to eat any food there due to their religious beliefs, with Patrick Tibby demanding to be allowed to cook his own food. But after being told that they could not cook their own meals in the prisons they were in, the couple went on a hunger strike, only drinking water. After weeks of the hunger strike, the Home Office reported that Herma Smith, on remand in Holloway Prison, began eating normally. But Patrick Tibby continued his hunger strike in Reading Prison, and after a few more weeks, prison chiefs became concerned about Patrick's condition, and he was then transferred to Fairmile Mental Hospital, still refusing to eat. He would eventually be transferred to Winchester Prison in Hampshire, as Reading Prison state that they didn't have the medical facilities to care for him there, whilst Winchester Prison had specialised diets for inmates, including vegan diets. Patrick Tibby and Herma Smith's 4-day trial began in November 1985 at Reading Crown Court, where both denied the charges. It was revealed that baby Bubu Tibby had been born at home sometime around December 1983 or January 1984, with no medical help, and was delivered by Patrick Tibby, the father. The baby's birth was not registered. At some point around May or June of 1984, the then 6-month-old baby, Bubu, became ill and could not hold down his food, and due to their religious beliefs, the family shunned medicine. Patrick Tibby claimed that he tried to cure his 6-month-old baby son Bubu with homemade herbal remedies of herbs and coconut milk with garlic and senna pods, but it was of no use as baby Bubu was not getting any better, and eventually the baby died, aged just 6 months old. The couple told the courts that they tried all day to revive baby Bubu, but eventually realised that there was no hope. Baby Bubu was gone. The baby's mother, Herma Smith, told the courts, "I put Bubu to lie down and was watching him. His eyes were open and he was breathing quietly. Then I noticed he wasn't breathing anymore. I did what I could. I didn't think baby Bubu was in any pain." During her police interview, Herma also told the police that the baby would have died because it was God's will, and the reason she believed this is because she was being punished by God because she had sinned by drinking unboiled water while she was pregnant. After baby Bubu had died, Patrick Tibby, the father, had wrapped the deceased baby in a plastic bag and placed the body in wasteland bushes on the corner of London Road and Donington Road, saying that it was raining, so he didn't dig a hole. He put his baby son's body in bushes instead. They then burned all of the baby's belongings. They told police that they would have never called a doctor and that they had did all they could for their sick child, and that they believed that baby Bubu's soul was at peace and the day would come when he would come back again, born again as an angel. They said that according to their religious beliefs, the body of a dead person was virtually worthless, but the spirit lived on and would be reincarnated. Patrick Tibby also claimed that he was Abraham from the Bible and that his partner Herma was Sarah, Abraham of the Bible's wife, and that they'd both been sent to earth by Jah to teach the Rastafarian faith. Jocelyn Gibbs, the defence for Herma Smith, read a statement in court from psychiatrist Roderick Evans saying that Herma was of low intelligence, emotionally immature, and may have been unduly influenced by other people. Prosecutor Barbara Mills said that the parents gave baby Bubu inadequate and unsuitable food and no medical attention, leading to his death. The prosecutor also said, whatever religious beliefs these people had, They should have provided food for the baby when he was ill, as well as medical help. On Friday the 8th of November 1985, 25-year-old Patrick Tibby and 24-year-old Herma Smith was found guilty of willful child neglect. Stephen Lewis, the legal coordinator of the Rastafarian Advisory Service, spoke on the social and religious views of the parents, saying that if all herbal remedies failed, then members of the Nyabingi sect could consult Rastafarian elders or go to a local GP. He also said, Patrick found himself in an environment where he did not know anyone. If he had come to us, we would have conferred with the elders, but unfortunately, he did not have that course open to him. If a baby did not eat, a Nyabingi parent would try feeding the baby honey or fruit juices. It was up to the individual to decide whether to visit a GP. There are no reports on what sentence the couple received, but based on the law at the time, 1985, under the Children's and Young Persons Act of 1933, parents convicted of willful neglect leading to death or serious harm usually received a 2 to 5 year custodial sentence, or, if cause of death could not be medically pinned down, then on average, courts imposed a 12 to 24-month custodial sentence with possible early release after serving half the sentence, factoring in time served on remand. There's also a possibility that the judge could have imposed a suspended sentence. What I do know is that Patrick Tibby and Herma Smith later married almost 6 years after being convicted in Slough in Buckinghamshire in October of 1991. If alive today, they'd both now be in their early 60s.